All right, I want to close this segment of the video with a couple of comments about a couple of unrelated things. The first has to do with a part of the video which talked about plate mechanics and about plate work that was demonstrated by Dick Runcie and Bob Jones. Two things that are really important that I see that umpires seem to continually make mistakes on, particularly young umpires, have to do with plate stances. The first one, and I'm going to use a box stance just for purposes of demonstration. The first is keeping the back straight. And this is something umpires need to keep in mind at all times. I know in the camps and when we watch younger umpires, they tend to want to bend over at the waist, and this just gives you distorted perspective on things. If you're going to work a scissor stance, if you're going to work a knee stance, if you're going to work a box stance, doesn't make any difference. Keep your back straight. Second thing is that at all times you want to have your head absolutely straight. And again, this is something that Runcie and Jones alluded to, but it can't be stressed too much. If you're moving with the pitch, if you're going with the pitch, you're here like this and an outside pitch comes in, you go here, low pitch comes in, you duck, high pitch, you go up, you're going to be changing your perspective. You're going to get a distorted perspective of things. What you want to do is lock yourself into a stance and not move a single time, and then follow the pitch into the glove with your eyeballs. And a good test might be, as far as whether or not you've got a good stance in terms of height, get somebody to take a baseball and have a guy catch it out here and see if you can see that ball come all the way into the mitt. And if you can't see that thing come all the way into the mitt, then you're working too low and you need to get yourself up higher. Second thing is in terms of consistency behind the plate. I've heard some umpires in discussions say, well, they're going to be liberal with the strike zone in the first part of the game, but then they're going to tighten up as the game goes on. We can't do this because you're going to send a message to the players and the coaches as to what your zone is at the first of the game, and if you deviate from that as the game goes on and start tightening up without telling them you're doing this, then you're giving them mixed signals and mixed messages. Something else we hear about from time to time is umpires will say, well, I'm going to be pretty generous on the first strike or the second strike, but by gosh, that third strike had better be there. Same thing, you can't tell a pitcher and a hitter that this is a strike on the first pitch and this is a strike on the second pitch, but then on the third pitch, all of a sudden, now that the pitcher thinks he knows where your zone is, throws it in the same spot and it's not a strike. So what we're saying is same zone, pitch to pitch, batter to batter, inning to inning, first inning to the ninth inning, and this is important for consistency. Final thing involves something that Jim was just talking about as far as establishing relationships with catchers. Best way I can put this is that we get ourselves in a lot of trouble with our mouths and with things that we say. And Jim and Dave both were talking about catchers and catching it properly. And Jim was saying, you know, you don't want to tell a catcher that you're going to do, he's going to have to do so-and-so because he may go back to the dugout. I just want to underscore that because I think one thing we do as umpires that gets ourselves in a lot of trouble is we say things we talk out of school. So number one, we're trying to encourage you not to ball a pitch simply because the guy turns the mitt over, as Dave's already said. But number two, if that's the position you're going to take, that you're going to do that, don't tell them that. Because you don't want to tell them that because they're going to go back over and tell other people that, and that's going to be a problem. All right, we hope you've got something out of this part of the video, and now we'll return to the main segment of the program.